Good evening, divine beings of light. This is Soul Reviver Sandhya again. Choose to be with you at Ear to Hear platform. As you all know that I'm associated as a regional influencer Delhi at Ear to Hear platform. Everyone knows me as the Soul Reviver Sandhya. I'm an international trainer with access consciousness, transformation coach, life coach, energy healer, angels and tarot card reader, along with that, a chakra healer. The topic of my today's session is what is mental health and what are its types. Before I start my session, there is a small message from the founder of Ear to Hear, Miss Richa Mehta, for our viewers to know about Ear to Hear.
Mental health is how you feel, how you think, how you behave. It's part of life and it's not a stigma anymore. Hello everyone, I am Rucha Mehta, founder of a beautiful initiative, Ear to Hear. We started 5 months back, which was on 1st of Jan, and we have representatives from lot of cities and states. I would like to request you to join us to make a difference in your city, in your state. We would like to welcome all the women to come forward and support us because together we can and we will make a difference.
In gratitude to the universe for creating these possibilities for me to come up with these type of sessions and to help women through the platform named Ear to Hear, an initiative by Miss Richa Mehta. So let's start with some of the things that I really wish to share with you. What mental health need is it needs more sunlight, more candor, and more unashamed conversation. This is what Ear to Hear is doing in their platform. One small crack does not mean that you are broken. It means that you were put to the test and you didn't fall apart. Now, let's start with my session. Mental illnesses are conditions that affect a person's thinking, feeling, mood, or behavior. You know that in our society, the mood swings, the mood or behavior such as depression, anxiety, bipolar disorder, or schizophrenia, such as conditions may be occasional or long lasting. It can be very chronic and affect someone's ability to relate to others and function each others. So, the first question coming to your mind is what is mental health? Mental health is what? That includes our emotional, psychological, and social well being. It affects how we think, feel, and act. It also helps determine how we handle stress, relate to others, and make healthy choices. Mental health is important at every stage of life, from childhood and adolescence through adulthood. Although the terms are often used interchangeably, because poor mental health and mental illness are not the same thing. A person can experience poor mental health and not diagnosed with a mental illness. Likewise, a person diagnosed with a mental illness can experience periods of physical, mental, and social well being. So, now let's talk about why mental illness or mental health important for overall health. Mental and physical health are equally important. The components of overall health, mental illness, especially depression, increases the risk for many types of physical health problems, particularly long lasting conditions like stroke, type 2 diabetes, heart diseases. Similarly, the presence of chronic conditions can increase the risk for mental illness. Now, let's talk about what are mental disorders or mental illness. Depression and anxiety, they are the most common mental disorders. But apart from those, obsessiveness, compulsiveness, post traumatic stress disorder, this is what we call PTSD, bipolar disorders, mental disorders, or mental illnesses are those that affects persons mood, feelings, thinking, and behavior. So this is how mental illness work on our mind, body, and soul. Now let's talk about what causes mental disorders. The causes or risk factors for development of mental disorders are often unknown. There is no single cause for mental illness. A number of factors can contribute to risk for mental illness, such as early adverse life experiences, trauma, or a history of abuse. For example, child abuse, sexual assault, witnessing violence, etc. Experiences related to other ongoing chronic medical conditions such as cancer or diabetes. It could be more than that too. Sometimes the biological factors such as genetics or a family history or the disorder of chemical imbalances in the brain, use of alcohol or recreational drugs, having very few friends, having feeling of loneliness or isolation, environmental chemical imbalances in the brain, and the most important thing that is poverty and low levels of social support. Now let's talk about few common types of mental disorders. People can experience different types of mental illnesses and disorders, and they can often occur at the same time. Mental illness can occur over a short period of time or be episodic. This means that the mental illness comes and goes with discrete beginnings and ends. Mental illness can also be ongoing or long lasting. There are more than 200 classified external icon types of mental illness. Now we are going to discuss some of the main types of mental illness and disorders. However, this list is not exhaustive. Anxiety disorder, the first disorder that we are going to discuss. People with with anxiety disorders respond to certain objects or situations with fear and dread or terror. Anxiety disorders include generalized anxiety disorder, social anxiety, panic disorders, and phobias. Coming to the second disorder, attention deficit hyperactivity disorder, which is most common in children these days. We can call it ADHD. Attention deficit ADHD is one of the most common childhood mental disorders. It can continue through adolescence and adulthood. People diagnosed with ADHD may have trouble paying attention, controlling impulsive behaviors, may not without thinking about what the result will be, or be overly active. So, this is the symptoms of ADHD. Now, coming to the third disorder, disruptive behavioral disorders. Behavioral disorders involve a pattern of disruptive behavior in children. I'm discussing more about children today, but yet, yes, I'm going to discuss on the adolescents too. But the parents, they really don't know that their children are affected with these type of syndromes, or you can say the illnesses or the mental health problems. They felt that their children are doing well. Sometimes their children don't study. They don't understand what exactly a child requires. They only thought that he has to or she has to get 100% marks in the studies, but they don't know what exactly is going on in their children mental health. So the second thing is that the next I'm going to talk about is disruptive behavioral disorder. So this type of disorder in children that lasts for at least 6 months and cause problems in school, at home, and in social situations. Behavioral symptoms can also continue into adulthood too. Now, coming to the next disorder, depression and other mood disorders. While bad moods are common and usually pass in a short period, people suffering from mood disorders live with more constant and severe symptoms. People living with this mental illness find that their mood impacts both mental and psychological well being nearly every day and often for much of the day. It is essential that 1 in 10 adults suffer from some type of mood disorder, with the most common condition being depression and bipolar disorder with proper diagnosis and treatment. Most of those living with mood disorders led healthy, normal, and productive lives if left untreated, because the treatment is very important. This illness can affect role functioning, quality of life, and many long lasting physical health problems such as diabetes and health disease. Now, coming to the next disorder, eating disorders. Eating disorders evolve obsessive and sometimes distressing thoughts and behaviors, including reduction of food intake, overeating, feeling of depression or distress, concern about weight, body shape, poor self image. Now, I want to share common types of eating disorders. That includes anorexia, bulimia, and binge eating. That means that person doesn't know that that what is he eating and how much is he eating. So this is also a stress disorder or a mental disorder, you can say. Personality disorders. People with personality disorders have extreme and inflexible personality traits that cause problems in work, school, or social relationships. Now, let's talk about the symptoms or some type of personality disorders: antisocial personality disorder and borderline personality disorder. So these type of disorders can change the behavioral pattern of your child or any adult. Now, the most common disorder that I'm going to discuss now is post traumatic stress disorder. Generally, we can see it in the women or the teenagers. PTSD. A person can get PTSD after living through or seeing a traumatic event, such as war, a hurricane, physical abuse, or a serious accident. PTSD can make someone feel stressed and afraid after the danger is over. There is a lot of treatments in PTSD. People with PTSD may experience symptoms like reliving the event over and over. Sleep problems, insomnia, become very upset if something causes memories of the same event. And they're constantly looking for possible threats and changes in emotions like irritability, outbursts, helplessness, or feelings of numbness. Now, the PTSD can be treated through access consciousness too, as I already discussed yesterday about access consciousness. Most of the people can get the treatment through the access consciousness tools, and all these problems, all these disorders can be treated through access consciousness. Now, coming to the next disorder, that is schizophrenia, spectrum, and other psychotic disorders. People with psychotic disorders hear, see, and believe things that they aren't real or true. They may also show signs of disorganized thinking, confused speech, and muddled or abnormal motor behavior. An example of a psychotic disorder is schizophrenia. People with schizophrenia may also have low motivation and blunted emotions. I want to discuss about this later on. Let's talk about the next disorder: substance use disorders. Substance use disorders occur when frequent or repeated use of alcohol or drugs causes significant impairment, such as health problems, disability, and failure to meet major responsibilities at work, school, or home. Substance use problems can be fatal to the user or others. For example, that includes drunk driving, fatalities, and drug overdoses. Mental illnesses and substance use disorders often occur together. They often occur together. Sometimes one disorder can be a contributing factor to or can make the other worse. Sometimes they simply occur at the same time. Now, coming to the next disorder, bipolar disorder. Bipolar disorder it constitutes so many disorders altogether. It can cause depression, mania, feeling abnormally and persistently happy, angry, hyperactive, impulsive, and irrational at different times. Sometimes a feelings of special powers and superiority. And it also decreased the need for sleep, restlessness. excessive talking, increased activity, racing thoughts, short attention span, inappropriate laughing or joking, getting into arguments, inappropriate spending sprees or sexual activities. Now let's talk about some important calculations regarding mental illness. You know, mental illness and I'm talking about mental illness and children and teens. Just over 20%. It means one in five children have had seriously debilitating mental disorder. Half of all chronic mental illness begins by age 14, and three quarters begin by age 24.8. Now, talk about the impact of mental illness in our mind, body, and soul. Or the person who is having mental illness, what he thought of, or what is he can do in their life. Suicide is a most important thing that anyone can do, which is often associated with symptoms of mental illness. It is the 10th leading cause of death and the second leading cause of death among people aged 15 to 34. Serious mental illness costs in loss every year. Mood disorders, including major depression, dysthematic disorder, and bipolar disorder, are the third most common cause of hospitalization for the both youth and adults aged 18 to 44. Individuals living with serious mental illness face an increased risk of physical health problems such as heart diseases, diabetes, HIV, human immunodeficiency virus, the virus that causes AIDS. Adults living with serious mental illness die on average 25 years earlier than others, largely due to treatable medical condition. Mental health is very important these days apart from our physical health. So let's talk about how we can prevent mental health. Mental health promotion is very important. And when you start talking to your friends, talking to somebody, as we are doing at ear to hear platform, you can come out of those mental disorders. So every time when I do my session, I always say, please, if you wish to reach to ourselves, you can contact on the below downline given email ID to contact and to join us ear to hear.team@gmail.com. And you can also contact us on Facebook too. We have a proper Facebook page or a group you can contact in that group too if you really wish to contact or you want to come out of these type of mental disorders. So let's talk about the promotion and the prevention. So preventing mental illness and promoting good mental health involves actions to create living conditions and environments that support mental health and allow people to adapt and maintain healthy lifestyles. These include a range of actions to increase the chances of more people experiencing better mental health, such as early childhood interventions. For example, home visits for pregnant women and programs that help young children build social and emotional skills. I also want to share one more thing with you, that if you start talking to your children, you know, most of the parents, they really don't know that their children, they do have any type of problem. Sometimes they do have peer pressure too, and that peer pressure doesn't allow them to go to school, colleges, or any place. They don't really don't want, or they really don't wish to meet their friends. They don't want to see any relative. So please, become the eye of your children. Try to become the eye of your any relation. And if you become the eye of your relation, you can help the person. As I already discussed all the symptoms, if you see, if you can, if you can make out that this type of disorder or this type of condition, your friend, your parent, your child, your anybody in your relation is into this type of situation, please do talk to them. Please try to make them comfortable talking to you, especially to your kids, to your teenagers, to your children, to your parents, to your anyone. I'm not saying only for the parents, I'm saying for the children too. Children, if you really require any help, please do connect to us. Not only women, I'm sharing this to everyone. Any children, any teenager, anybody who really wish, not only women, please do connect to ear to hear. And if you wish to talk to us, please do connect to us. We are there to help you. And this platform is specially created not only for women, it is created for everybody. Any kid at the from the age of 5 to 50, 60, 70, 80, anybody who wish to talk, anybody who wish anybody who is having any type of disorders or problem. I'm not saying any type of disorder. If you are not having any person whom you can talk to, you can also contact us on ear to hear, so that we can help you out. So nobody at when we are youngsters, when we are small, when we are child, when we are into the very small age, nobody is there to listen to us. Nobody is there to work for us. Nobody is there to make us understand. But now you do have everybody in your life. Please try to make it out. Please try to convince. Please try to call. Please try to make those things possible, which was not possible in the early ages. And I really wish that you should become more authentic and more you can get everything whatever you wish to. And and now we have such type of platforms to help you out. Social support for elderly persons is also there. Programs targeted to people affected by disasters or other traumatic events. There, these type of preventions can help. Mental health interventions at work, for example, stress prevention programs, violence prevention strategies, for example, reducing violence in the community and the home, campaigns to change the culture of mental health, so that all of those in need receive the care and support they deserve. That's what we are doing at Ear to Hear platform. And I really wish that you liked my session. And I really wish that you should definitely contact us if you are in need. I'm not saying, I always said this thing, that not only victims, not only the person who are in need, who can support ear to hear, who can be a motivational person to ear, they can contact us. And the most important thing in our life is, when we help other people, God will also help us in one or the other way. As I always say, please start loving yourself, Self love is very important. Please don't go beyond the things that can be. Hello, Poonam. Hi, sweetheart. So please try to make yourself available to your parents, to your mother, to your father, to your relative if they require you. And we are always there at the backstage to help you. And we are always there to take people who wish to help others, to motivate other people. Because when we speak and we share things to other people, we help ourselves too. No matter what problem he's having or she's having, there might be something that can be shared, and you can also get benefited. We can also get benefited. You don't know at what hour you can helping ourselves and other people's too. So please do join ear to hear if you really wish to help others, or if you want help from ourselves. Thank you so much. Love and light from the Soul Reviver, Sandhya. We'll meet again soon on another topic on mental illness. And I really thank Richa for creating this possibility for me, because this is my passion from the beginning, and now I got the platform to create for other people and to create for myself too, so that I can help and I can get the help too. Thank you so much. Love and light from the Soul Reviver, Sandhya. I request to please start the message from ear to hear.
प्रॉब्लम मुझे भी है, लेकिन कोई शेयर करने वाला नहीं है. You can talk to me. I'm there for you. Come and join us on the below number. We will keep it a secret. The promise that you will have a smile before leaving.